You might think food is one of the most universal things on earth. After all, everyone eats. But what if that snack in your backpack or that familiar grocery store staple could actually get you fined, confiscated, or even detained just for crossing a border? It sounds dramatic, but it's real. Around the world, food laws vary wildly. Something considered perfectly normal in one country can be completely illegal in another, banned for reasons ranging from public safety and health concerns to environmental protection and cultural values. In some cases, the same food is seen as a childhood treat in one place and a serious legal violation in another. Today, we're uncovering 7 surprisingly common foods that are illegal in certain countries and the fascinating reasons why you can't eat them there. And fair warning, a few of these are probably sitting in your kitchen right now. Let's start with one that shocks a lot of people: Kinder Surprise eggs. If you've ever traveled to Europe or Canada, you've likely seen these iconic foil-wrapped chocolate eggs everywhere. Inside the hollow chocolate shell is a small plastic capsule, and inside that capsule is a toy you assemble yourself. For millions of kids around the world, it's a nostalgic favorite. But in the United States, authentic Kinder Surprise eggs are illegal. The ban dates all the way back to 1938, when the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act made it illegal to sell candy with a non-nutritive object embedded inside. The concern is simple but serious: choking hazards. The FDA argues that a hidden plastic toy inside chocolate poses a risk, especially to young children, and they still actively enforce this law today. Customs agents can seize Kinder eggs at the border, and yes, there can be fines of up to $2,500 per egg. That's one very expensive souvenir. The version you'll find in U.S. stores, Kinder Joy, is legal only because the toy and chocolate are kept in separate sealed compartments. Same brand, very different design, purely because of the law. Next up, a dish that's deeply tied to national identity: haggis. Haggis is the national dish of Scotland, immortalized in poetry and celebrated at Burns night dinners around the world. Traditionally, it's a savory pudding made from sheep's heart, liver, and lungs, mixed with oatmeal, onions, and spices, then cooked inside a sheep's stomach. And that last ingredient, the lungs, is exactly why authentic haggis is illegal in the United States. In 1971, the U.S. Department of Agriculture banned the use of livestock lungs in food meant for human consumption. The concern is that during slaughter, stomach fluids can enter the lungs, increasing the risk of contamination and foodborne illness. Because true haggis must contain lung to be considered authentic, it has been banned from import for more than 50 years. You can find American-made versions that replace or remove the lung, but most Scots will tell you it's just not the same. If you want the real thing, you still have to go to Scotland. Now let's talk about something far more common and far more controversial: ractopane treated pork. Ractopane is a feed additive used by many American pig farmers to help pigs grow lean muscle more efficiently. If you've bought standard pork in a U.S. grocery store, there's a good chance it came from an animal fed this drug. In the United States, the FDA considers ractopane safe, but the rest of the world, not so much. More than 160 countries, including the entire European Union, China, and Russia, have banned pork produced with ractopane. Health authorities in these regions argue that there isn't enough data to prove it's safe for humans, citing potential cardiovascular risks like increased heart rate and blood pressure. As a result, American pork can't be exported to many countries unless it's certified ractopane-free, making this one of the biggest food trade disputes on the planet. It's a rare case where something is completely normal in one country and considered a health hazard in dozens of others. Next, a ban that's become almost legendary: chewing gum in Singapore. Yes, chewing gum. In 1992, Singapore banned the sale and import of chewing gum entirely. The reason wasn't health-related, but cleanliness. People were sticking used gum on sidewalks, elevator buttons, mailboxes, and even subway sensors, causing train malfunctions and massive cleanup costs. the government finally decided the easiest solution was to eliminate gum altogether. Despite the myths, you generally won't be arrested just for chewing gum you already have, but selling it or importing it in large quantities is illegal. The law was slightly relaxed in 2004 to allow therapeutic gum, like nicotine gum or dental health gum, but only with a prescription or from a pharmacist. Singapore chose clean streets over bubblegum bubbles, and they've never looked back. Now let's move on to something that seems completely harmless: poppy seeds. Those tiny black seeds sprinkled on bagels and muffins are banned in countries like Singapore, Taiwan, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. Why? Because poppy seeds come from the opium poppy plant. Even though baking seeds are washed and processed, they can still contain trace amounts of morphine and codeine. In strict zero-tolerance drug laws, testing positive for these substances, even accidentally, can be treated as a serious criminal offense. There have been real cases of travelers detained for carrying baked goods with poppy seeds. Anti-doping agencies even warn athletes that eating poppy seeds can cause failed drug tests. Since it's nearly impossible to distinguish a bagel eater from a drug user during screenings, many countries simply ban poppy seeds entirely. Next is one of the most controversial luxury foods in the world: foie gras. Foie gras means fatty liver in French and is prized for its rich, buttery texture. It's made from the liver of a duck or goose that has been force-fed to dramatically enlarge the organ, and that production method is exactly why it's banned in many places. Animal welfare groups argue that force-feeding, known as gavage, is cruel and unnecessary. In response, India became the first country to ban foie gras imports entirely in 2014. Production is banned in the UK and much of the European Union, and in the United States, California has prohibited its sale after years of legal battles. It's a rare example of a food banned not for human health, but for ethical reasons. And finally, let's talk about a soda many Americans grew up drinking: Mountain Dew, or more specifically, citrus sodas containing brominated vegetable oil, also known as BVO. For decades, BVO was used to keep citrus flavoring evenly mixed in sodas, but bromine, one of its components, is also found in flame retardants. Studies linked bromine buildup in the body to memory loss, skin problems, and nerve issues. Because of these concerns, the European Union and Japan banned BVO years ago. The United States allowed it much longer, until recently. After major brands voluntarily removed it, the FDA officially revoked approval for BVO in 2024. If you ever spot an old soda bottle with BVO still listed on the label, it's best left untouched. So, what does all of this tell us? Food laws aren't random. Whether it's a Kinder Egg banned for safety, poppy seeds restricted because of drug testing laws, or foie gras banned for ethical reasons, these regulations usually come down to three core ideas: protecting public health, preserving the environment, or upholding cultural values. The list of banned foods is always changing, so next time you travel, it's worth checking customs rules, not just to avoid fines or confiscation, but to better understand how different cultures view food, safety, and responsibility. Because sometimes the most dangerous thing in your suitcase isn't what you'd expect at all. Thanks for watching. Click the link in the description to get more details from our blog post.